Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Doctor. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. I hope wherever you are and whenever you are, you're going to be able to take a break and go outside and enjoy the nature that's around you right now. I can only make these videos with your guys' support, so please make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like videos like this. It is the easiest way to support me and to ensure that you will still get videos like these in the future. We are going to be going ahead and going over the unit Kilfe today, you guys. She is going to be a meta-defining unit that will be coming out here within the next couple months. She is a Earth Mage, and she is a very cool unit, you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in, as long as you can tear your eyes away from the beautiful dress that she's wearing. Kilfe is a UR unit. Her main job is Rod Wielder, her second job is Spellblade, and her third job is White Mage. She does hail from Fennis, and she is not a time-limited unit. Her TMR is going to be the Rod Wielder's Hair Ornaments. It's going to be HP 201, Defense 8, and critical hit rate plus 15%. And her ability that comes with that is going to be called the Contradict's Pride. It raises own single attack resistance for 3 turns and lowers area attack resistance. So just as a quick reminder, you guys, that single attack resistance is going to be very similar to Odin's technique. It is going to mitigate damage that is for single target units only. One of the things that is her most powerful ability is going to be her Limit Burst, you guys. It's going to lower magic resistance for targets for 3 turns and deal large damage based on the caster's magic stat. And you're going to notice that the limit break is a little bit different here than a lot of casters that we're familiar with. Both Miranda and Medina both have very large ranged AoE caster limit breaks, and you're going to notice that Kilfe has kind of the opposite. And that's because Kilfe is actually a mage that is designed to be on the front lines. She has a lot of defensive tools, and she has a lot of movement techniques to actually help her as well. So there's a lot of times where she's actually going to be in close proximity and be able to just drop this nuclear bomb of a limit break on her opponents. Looking at her stats, she gets HP 2140 at base, which is really high for a caster in general. But you also have to consider she gets an additional HP plus 20% and casting time reduced minus 20% from her master ability. She also gets HP plus 90, so she can easily, with an Esper, push over 3k HP. Not a problem. She comes with 147 TP, 142 AP, a movement of 3, a jump of 1, a luck of 140, which is pretty middle of the road, an attack of 69, which you're not going to be leveraging anyway, a magic of 259, with an additional magic plus 56. She is the second highest magic unit in the game in JP. She has an agility of 58, a dexterity of 164, she gets an additional TP plus 15, starting AP plus 2, luck plus 30, and this is where it gets really interesting, you guys. She gets defense plus 6 and spirit plus 4, and an additional luck plus 20%. So this is something we're going to keep visiting as we're talking about Kilfe. She does not have a sub-job like Paladin or a sub-job like Knight, but you're going to see that she has all of these powerful tanking capabilities in her to be able to be on the front lines and to be able to take a blow. Now, to compare her to some of the other units that are going to be around the time she comes out, we're going to have Medina, who is, of course, you should all be familiar with, a very powerful mage. And notice the gap in HP between Medina and Kilfe. That's almost 500 base HP, you guys. And you can even notice Medina does have a little bit more magic, but she also has less agility. And you can also see the calculator unit, Irdira, has less HP, less magic, and significantly less agility. So it's very interesting kind of the position that Kilfe's in, because you'll notice here, she also gets defense up, and she gets Thunder Blessing, which gives 12% resistance to thunder attacks. It really puts her in a position to be the counter Orlando, you guys. And that's what you need to think about as we're going through her unit skill tree. Think of her as the unit who was going to hard counter Orlando. I know a lot of us talked about Kiton as being an Orlando counter. Kilfe is like the physical counter, the one that's going to take a hit, the one that's going to go in there and murder the Monts, you guys. And the Sids. I don't know why I said Mont there. I meant Sids. Taking a look at her abilities, you guys. Her primary abilities that she will always have access to is going to be a move 1, jump 1 for 3 turns. It's going to be a small magic damage attack with CT down, small on the opponent. So that's going to be a very fast casting attack. It's at 360 when it's fully leveled. At 141 damage, that's equivalent to about a shuriken that also lowers the casting or the CT of the opponent. Could be potentially very useful. And her primary ability, which I think is just, like, I love units that have abilities like this, and Lucia has one very similar to it. It's called Energy Buster, you guys. So it's a magic dependent, large damage with inevitable with it. That means it has accuracy plus 100%. It will hit no matter what. It's a 220% damage attack, and it's essentially a shotgun blast, 2 squares in front of her and to her side. Very powerful. I think it's such a cool technique. Keep in mind, she is also going to have that enhanced movement, so she is going to be able to jump in and do this. And you're going to see, depending on the subclass that you set on her, she is going to have movement capability on the battlefield. She, of course, gets a magic staff shield, which is going to create a barrier to reduce physical damage, and it'll reduce physical damage 3 times by 50%. She's going to get Faith Up for allies within range. I'm not sure if this is permanent, similar to Fina's. It is something that I'm going to have to find out and test. And then her passives for this class, she does get Magic Power Up level 1, which at maximum level raises her Magic Power plus 30%. She also gets Defense Up, which increases her defense plus 12, which puts her as a caster at plus 18 defense, you guys. So that is nuts to me, and it makes it seem like she's this really cool, unique type of unit. She does get a Magic Staff that gives Confusion as sort of a debuff around her. She gets a magic dependent damage to target after moving to target square. So that's a 3 square space that she's going to move and also deal large magic damage, 205% to the opponent. So this is what I'm talking about, where if you have her job set as Rod Wielder for the sub job, you are going to be able to quickly move in and put yourself right in the middle of combat. Anytime there's move and damage associated with it, I think that's very powerful in this game. She's also going to have basically a staff stun technique, which is going to be magic damage and have 2 range. And she has what's called anti-barrier here, which reduces damage by 30%. Essentially, it's just another sword guard, you guys. So not only does she have these defensive techniques, she also has sword guard. Now, her other subclass is Magic Swordsman, or, you know, something you would be very familiar with if you've ever gone up or used a Ramza. She's going to have access to Magic Barrier, which will reduce magic damage taken by 50%. She'll have access to the Taunting spell, which will also be magic 121% damage AoE, similar to Shuriken, and hate plus 12. She's also going to have access to Magic Guard, and she's also going to have access to Thunder Spirit Protection, which is magic attack resistance plus 12% and lightning attribute resistance plus 12%. So she really is the anti-Sid and the anti-Frederica. She can take a hit, she can mess with the opponent's hate. She's really going to be someone who can go in there and just screw with your opponent completely. And I think that's what kind of makes her fun. Not only that, she can sub White Mage, you guys. And unlike a lot of White Mage sub jobs, she actually gets access to Holy. So she's going to have another inevitable attack if she is sub White Mage, and she's going to have access to Holy. Not only that, she's going to have access to Esuna, Protect, Shell, and Curata. She does not get Curaga, I can confirm, but she does get Cura and Curata. And this also gives access to Regenerator, which you probably won't be setting on her, because you'll probably be setting Sword Guard to help her live just that little bit longer. Now, when we're thinking about Espers that we're going to put on her, almost immediately, the number one Esper you're going to be thinking about when she comes out is Diablos. And I know there are many of you guys who don't know about Diablos, but essentially Diablos is a very magic-focused Esper. He is one of the strongest magic Espers that does come out, and you are going to be wanting to set him immediately on her. If you don't have Diablos, a completely viable option is going to be Titan for that human killer and that increased defense, really leaning in on that survivability for her as a character. You could also lean in on Cactuar, you guys, because for those of you that don't know, Cactuar also has increased magic on his board, and he also has human killer. So he is a 100% another viable option to use as an Esper. Finally, we have all of the cards that you can use on her. And of course, Trousseau is going to be the number one recommendation. Magic attack plus 35, it's hard to go wrong with that. Secret Feelings, also very powerful. Earth attack plus 10 for her, and luck plus 35% for her and the rest of the party. Really leaning in on that tanking element and really drawing out her defensive capabilities. Horn's First Division is not out in Global yet, but it does give magic attack plus 10 for the specific unit, and then it gives slash attack resistance plus 20 for the entire party. Could be potentially a very viable build for her. And finally, of course, we have Leonis Castle, you guys. And of course, if you don't know Leonis Castle, it is going to give that wonderful defense plus 15, spirit plus 15, and critical hit rate plus 6 for the entire party. So overall, Kilfe is a very powerful, defensive-oriented mage who's going to charge into the lineup and shred your opponents to bits. Thank you so much for listening today, you guys. Do remember, if you are going to be buying Visior, make sure you use my affiliate link down below, and make sure you do it with Amazon coins to save yourself that 20%. And of course, please drop a comment down in the YouTube section, come hang out in our Discord, and come check out my stream tonight. I do stream every night, except for Mondays and Thursdays, and if you're ever wondering what my schedule is, just pop in our Discord and it's pinned on every single thread as an image. Thank you so much, you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, great rest of your day.